Okay, windows, triple glazed passive house windows. What's the difference between this and a standard window? Well, triple glazed to start with. 3 layers of glass, separated by insulated spaces, given a total of 1.25 inches in thickness, can be thicker. This is an opaque one. This is going to be a bathroom window, so we can't show you the thickness of it as such. But triple glazed unit, triple glazed, the glass can be low energy glass, which would be the external pane, plus 2 layers or 2 pieces of normal box with insulated spaces in between, giving a thick, heavy, but well insulated unit, glass unit. And these are really efficient. These are about 0.8 of U value. U values and the values in total will go through another time, but the U value of this is about 0.7 of this particular one, between 0.7 and 0.8, which is really good. And that's for the glass. As well as triple glazed units, you can also get a double glazed vacuum unit. A vacuum unit is exactly what it says. It's the unit itself is much smaller. It's a layer of E-glass and standard glass with only probably 3 to 4 mil spacer. And it's got micro pillars in there to hold the glass apart. And then they create a vacuum within that. The idea is the vacuum doesn't allow anything to pass through it. That includes energy or heat. So they can be a lot thinner and lighter. Disadvantages is the fact that you don't get quite the sound or the dB value that you do with a triple glazed unit. These just aren't very good, but they're also very quiet. A whole window itself will create a much quieter environment. But the double glazed vacuum units may be a little bit cheaper and give a very similar value. Okay, what does the window consist of? Well, triple glazed window to start with, but what we have in addition is in these particular windows we have additional rebates and additional seals. Some passive windows actually have 3 seals on separate rebates. This one has actually 2 seals, but they are really good what they do. So we have the timber frame window here with an aluminium clad. So this aluminium clad on the outside of the window, this doesn't have to be, it can be anything. It can be timber, a different color. It can be anything you want it to be. This is just for designed for a particular build to which we're going to do. The unit itself, because it's triple glazed and it's made a much better quality, tend to be a lot heavier than what you would be used to in a normal window with double glazing. They tend to be quite heavy, so you need to prepare for this. And you have to be aware that you may have to make additional allowances for weight. I mean, you can have a set of patio doors, you know, you're looking at 600 to 700 kilos for a good set of doors. So be prepared for the weight. Even this small one is heavier because of the quality of the build and also the triple glazing. On this particular one, we have a rebate here with an airtight seal here and rebate on the inside, which is here. Now, the thing is with this, it's got a double seal, so therefore it's not just an individual piece of rubber which you rely on. These are actually designed to knit together. The locking mechanism itself, when you close it and you pull the handle, you can watch it knit together. And that's the difference. So if I close this, close is like a normal window, pull that handle down, you can physically watch that casement inside of that pull into the seals. Now, this window, if fitted correctly, is an airtight and thermally efficient window. What makes it more efficient is a number of things. To start with, on here we have the casement and the frame. If this was a meter wide and a meter high, meter and a half, regardless of the size, if we had this in different sizes, the U value would still be really good because we've just got a single opening light. If we have a bigger design and we have lots of transoms and stuff in between, the more we add to that, the less the value or the lesser the efficiency of the window. So we tried to keep the framing and the casements to a minimum when it comes to the design, regardless of the size of window. So that's the unit and the seals and the rebates. When it comes to the window itself, you can see the depth here. That depth is to incorporate and to bring in that triple glaze unit. It's got to be a little bit deeper than normal. And also, in this circumstance, we want a flush window. So it's been designed purposely for that. This is a Nordang window, but there are many different makes out there. They all do the job that they're designed to do. Whether it's Nordang, Rational, or other makes out there, they're all work in a very similar way. You see the thickness here, this is about 100 mil wide, rather than the 70, 75 mil we get, or even smaller on some windows or double glazed windows. But the advantage of this is that distance, the greater the distance, the less of the travel, the less of the bridge, because the energy or loss has got to travel further. So it's not a negative thing. And also the build quality is so much better than it is on many windows today. When we fit these windows, we have to think of the airtightness of the window. That's why we buy these windows, because it's got the airtightness and the efficiency about it. So what we need to do is when we fix these, not many passive certified windows are actually fixed through the frame. Most of them are fixed by a bracket. That bracket will fit into a rebate or sit on the side fixed to the window without penetrating the internal side. And that would be put into position and located in where it needed to be, and the bracket's fixed. And then there'd be some form of insulation around the outside of the window. Usually the structural opening of a passive window would be quite a bit bigger than the window, probably between 9 and 12 mil round. The reason for that is we want to get some form of insulation in between there. Usually it is an expanding band, like or it can be an expanding foam. The idea is to hold the window in place and also at the same point in time having some sort of thermal value around it. And then the spaces could be taken out and filled in with an airtight or a thermal insulation to replace those. Once it's all fitted in, then it will be taped over the brackets and the joint to make it airtight. That is a passive certified window, and basically the differences between a standard and a passive window.
John, I just wanted to ask you. You mentioned insulated spaces, and I just wanted you to sort of explain that a little bit.
Insulated spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Insulated space. Basically, whatever we put into a passive house, we don't like open space. We don't like a gap. We like it filled with something, and anything that's an insulator is a good thing. Many people fit these windows with an expander foam rod, which is fine. It's an insulator. It's very good at holding the window in position and taking any vibration out that there may be. So it's very good. There are also a number of expanding tapes that could be used. We also have to bear in mind that once the window's in, afterwards we have to tape it. Have to use our Tescon tape around the window, onto the window edge to make sure it's airtight. We can have the best window in the world, and unless it's airtighted and insulated around, it's not going to do the job as efficiently as it could.
So the word spaces is almost akin to just a gap, an air gap. Yeah. Um, you also referred to e-glass, and I just wanted you to explain the difference between e-glass and normal glass.
E-glass. E-glass is basically a coating which is put on the glass. Now, when it comes to the U value of a window, what we want to do is we want to maintain the temperature and the controlled environment within the builds. But we also want to make use of potential solar gain, but without overheating. So it works almost like the pair of sunglasses. It actually prevents too much overheating, but at the same point in time, it will retain it. But even though you can't retain 100%, it will slow the process down of loss of energy through a window. So it's coating, which is put on the glass to help reflect or prevent overheating, but at the same point in time, it allows thermal gain during the winter at a consistent rate.
Excellent. I noticed you mentioned as well about the rebates, sorry, the depth of a window being 100 mil in this example versus maybe 75 mil on with a double glazed unit, or
Yeah. The difference is if you're using a UPVC standard double glazed unit, they're normally only 65, 70 mil in width. They don't have to be particularly brilliant at insulating or anything else. And cold bridging, these designed for a purpose. And also the casement within it have got additional rebates and a better quality, and as well as the thickness of the unit itself. So therefore, the framework itself is usually deeper to compensate for that and to incorporate the thickness of that and open casement.
excellent. So yeah, a deeper casing, so to speak, for the triple pane glazing. Just wanted to mention as well, you referred to timber. Well, you referred to the different type of encasement. I believe it's timber aluclad is the window that we've got here versus, for example, a plastic. So you could have a triple pane glazing that was plastic, and you could have a triple pane glazing that's plastic but still got air gaps. Is that right?
Yes, we can have what design you would like with a passive house window. Um, Basically, this is an aluminium clad, a coloured coated clad on the outside, which is going to be the design for the build that this window is going into. It could be white, it could be a UPVC clad, could have no clad at all and just be natural timber. Yeah, so it's tends to be the external of the window tends to be whatever the design of the build is. It can be pretty much anything as a normal window. These can be a completely UPVC window and still be a passive house window because it'll be full of insulation. It will still have good rebates. May even be thinner on the actual frame itself, being a UPVC, potentially lighter. But this is designed for purpose for the job that it's going into. And I think this is a really good quality window to be using.
Yeah, so you can still have a passive standard window that's plastic.
Yes.
But we'll talk more about the cradle to grave calculation. We'll go into a bit more detail on that. But you've made reference to the seals and how important they are. What would happen if there was no seal, for example, in this window?
If there's no seal in this window, you wouldn't get the air tightness. Air tightness is key for the window, as is such an important part of a passive house or an energy efficient house, because we need to control that. We mentioned drafts and movement of air. If you don't have the correct seals and that correct tightness, all you're going to do is create a way of energy escaping through draft or gaps, neither of which we want.
Excellent. Just notice as well that you use the word transient. I think we have explained what a transient is, but do you want to just explain that again, just to make sure?
Well, there's different terms. When we come to design of window, I've noticed there's many different terms for the same window. Transoms is basically a term for a carrier or a frame within the window. There's other names as well given to different bits, but it will depend on your manufacturer and your architect how they refer to them. I just refer it to as a frame encasement.